So here's the test burn. This is the gunpowder. That's a 2-to-1 blend. And what's on the plate glass is what I would consider an absolute 4F. And there's actually quite a bit there. So this is going to be a big burn. But I just kind of want to see what's going to be left behind on the plate glass. And see if we can determine how it'll work, how it'll do down the gun barrel of my flintlock. And this was milled for 35 hours. Well, I find this interesting in light of doing the test burn with the Century plant, milling it with two different medias, the lead and the brass. I got two different smoke colors, which had me thinking in one direction until I burned this. This was milled for 35 hours with lead media only. And as you can see, you get that blue smoke right up here. Get darker smoke right here, but I mean as far as anything's concerned, look at that. It's kind of brown, it's kind of gray. Well, I did have a theory, but this test burn shoots that theory all to hell. But again, it's gray, and I milled it with lead, not brass. But as far as the pieces and particles left behind, yeah, they're extremely minute. But you would kind of expect that just simply because it was more of a 4F than anything else, but there was a large quantity of it, as you can tell. And as I run my finger through what is burned, it's black. It's absolutely black. So I find that interesting. So I guess let's get out and do some shooting. Well, you saw the first shot, 1862. Second shot, 1818. And here's that second patch. Pretty clean. Cleaner than most. I'll tell you at the end what this blend is. But you might be interested in knowing. And if you can see it, I'm a little above the 80 grain mark by weight. I'd say she's probably pretty close to 85 by volume. And this powder was milled for 35 hours, and I am using this blended powder in the flash pan. All right, get reloaded, get another number. So while I settle my powder to get a consistent charge, it's about 10:45 in the morning. It is 38 degrees, so it's pretty cool. And for those that might ask or think about what I'm doing here, especially in this channel, all my shooting that I do, that I'm recording to put up on this channel, in particular when I'm testing homemade black powder, it's done between 10 and 12 o'clock. Just simply because we know that not all chronographs agree. Temperature and elevation and angle of the sun can get you different numbers. So that's why I choose to do all my shooting that I'm recording between 10 and 11, so that, between 10 and 12, so that the angle of the sun is pretty consistent. Temperature, can't change the elevation, and I certainly can't change the chronograph. So take all this with a grain of salt, because I know that there's a lot of fellas out there that are technical about all this stuff. I'm just not. I'm just trying to find a means of being consistent with this between my time that I do this. And if you scroll back on this channel from time to time, you'll see that I've had to angle my chronograph just to keep the shade from the hood and or those rods that keep the hood up off of the sensors. All right, I'll get this charge loaded and get another number. I pulled it. $17.93. Well, that was 1839. And there's the patch. Pretty clean. Right now it's pretty easy to load. This will be shot number 5. I'll get that downrange and I'll tell you how shot number 5 loaded. Well, you see it like I do, like 1859. I'm pretty impressed so far. So just so that you'll see, today I was shooting at my 25-yard mark because, well, you can see it. It's still snow, and back where that board is, it's pretty muddy back there, and that's usually where I step to get into my seat. So I decided to shoot at 25 yards today. Well, I gotta say that 5th shot was a little problematic. I probably only got it that far off of the powder charge, and then I had to work at it to get it seated down. But I kind of expected that a little bit because I've shot this powder before, and I experienced a similar thing when I got to shot number 5. There's that patch, shot number 5. It's had plenty of time to dry out. Okay, that's shot number 5. And here's shot number 2. Putting the two together, at least from my side of the camera, shot number 2 looks a lot cleaner than shot number 5 did. And I'll tell you, when I picked this up off the ground, it was still damp. It really looked dirty. Okay, and this one was damp also when I picked it up off the ground. So those are just my judgment calls. Both patches are dry right now. You make up your own mind as to what you're observing right here. Okay. Here's my target. Shot number 1 is right here. When I said that I thought I pulled it, well, it went somewhere into this group right here. So maybe that was just something that I misinterpreted when I shot. But there's the target. I'm pretty impressed with it. You might think it's a little bit low, and it probably is because I'm actually angling all my shots a little lower to the ground right now, just simply because I'm still going through my berm and sifting out some of the bigger rocks. So I kind of put my whole target down a little bit lower, so I was aiming at a downward angle. Okay, before I get to telling you what the blend is, this right here, 5-shot average was 1833 with a spread of 69. 1833 is really nothing to scoff at, is it? Okay, but bear in mind, my first shot with this blended gunpowder was 1862. Okay, one of the blends was Osage Orange. Looking back at my numbers in the past, my first shot, 80 grain by weight, my first shot with Osage Orange going down a clean barrel was 1773. So obviously, Osage Orange works better as a blend. My 5-shot average, Osage Orange, again, the single source charcoal, 1765. So when you put those two numbers together, Osage Orange ain't all that impressive. At least from where I'm standing. Pacific Willow. Now you know what the blend is. Pacific Willow, Osage Orange. 2 parts Osage Orange, 1 part Pacific Willow. But Pacific Willow, as a standalone gunpowder, going down a clean barrel, 80 grains by weight, was 1867. So it's pretty much right on par with the Pacific Willow Osage blend. Because the first shot, Osage Orange and Pacific Willow, was 1862. Now the 5-shot average with Pacific Willow as the standalone gunpowder was 1811. So we're only off by about 20 feet. So in all honesty, I would just keep Pacific Willow as a standalone gunpowder. Okay? But that's not the best. Okay, I also got my numbers with Osage, Orange, Alder blended. And it was a 2-to-1 blend. 2 parts Osage, 1 part Alder. Now the Alder is not buckthorn. It's the red or white Alder. And my 5-shot average with that was 1880. So that did better. Osage Orange did better blended with Alder. Now, the only other blend that I have with Pacific Willow is Pacific Willow and Alder. And my 5-shot average with that was 1902. And if I remember correctly, I think I did a 50-50 blend on that. I'll have to go double check that. But at this point, it really doesn't mean anything because Pacific Willow and Alder right now beat everything with a average 5-shot average of 1902. Osage Alder is second place with 1880. So as it stands right now, I'm not going to waste any more time blending Pacific Willow with Osage because Osage does better with an Alder and Pacific Willow does better with an Alder. Interesting. So anyhow, I want to thank you friends for watching. I hope you've gleaned something from this, and I hope that you'll take a moment to give it a thumbs up and share it with your bestest of buds. And we'll catch you in the next video, whenever that ends up being. Bye.